AJ Minter is a World Series champion. After a rough first half of the season, AJ was able to turn it around in the second half of the season and carry that into the postseason to help the Braves capture the title. You might look at the numbers and say, well, was he really that good? ERA of a 7.71, whip of 1.7. Numbers don't look good for AJ, but most of that came in one game, and that was basically what AJ's 2021 season was. He was either very good and looked like one of the best relief pitchers in the league, or he was very bad and looked like he didn't even belong on an MLB roster. To start the season, AJ looked very good. In his first 5 appearances, he faced 21 batters, gave up 4 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and only 1 earned. Braves did get off to a rough start, but at least for AJ, it was looking good. But during the game on April 6th versus the Nationals, AJ gave up a lead after coming in, facing 7 batters, giving up 3 hits, 1 walk, and an earned run. And that would be the first rough patch of AJ's season, but it would not be the last. In the game April 12th versus the Marlins, coming in with a 2-run lead, AJ was only to work a third of an inning, facing 3 batters, walking all 3 of them. He threw 18 pitches and only 6 were strikes. The Braves wind up surrendering 2 runs, which were accredited to AJ, and ultimately lost that game. 3 days later, again versus the Marlins, AJ came in with a 1-run lead, worked 1 inning, faced 6 batters, gave up 2 hits, 1 walk, and 2 earned runs to again give up another lead. And things were not looking good. Fans were not happy. But for the rest of the month, AJ looked good. 5 games and 5 innings. He faced 17 batters, only gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, struck out 5, and gave up no earned runs, which dropped his ERA all the way down from 7.11 to 3.97. In the beginning of May, AJ kept up the great play. In 5 games and 4 2/3 innings, he faced 18 batters, only gave up 2 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, and only 1 earned run. In that 10-game stretch, AJ had dropped his ERA from a 7.11 to a 2.81, and in the 9 2/3, 3 hits, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts, and only 1 earned. It looked like AJ had finally turned the corner. In back-to-back games, both versus the Blue Jays, first being on May 11th with a 1-run lead, AJ came in, was not able to record a single out, faced 4 batters, gave up 3 hits and 3 earned runs. 2 days later, against those same Blue Jays, again with a 1-run lead, AJ pitched 2 1/3, faced 4 batters, gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, and the tying run. Back-to-back blown saves. Now I know the stats don't look good, but up until this point, AJ was not really having a bad season. He was just having awful stretches of games, which led to the misleading stats. For example, in June, opponents were batting .333 with a .350 on base, a .615 slugging, and a .965 OPS against AJ. But again, those numbers are a little misleading, because for the most part, AJ had a very good month of June, except for a 3-game stretch. And that 3-game stretch, starting on June 10th versus the Philly, AJ pitched 2 1/3 innings, faced 4 batters, gave up 2 hits and 1 earned. In the June 13th game versus the Marlins, AJ pitched an inning and a third, faced 3 batters, gave up 2 hits and 2 earned runs. June 16th versus the Red Sox, again AJ pitched a third of an inning, faced 3 batters, gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, including a home run. For the rest of the month, AJ pitched 8 innings, faced 30 batters, only walked 1, gave up 7 hits, 7 strikeouts, and only 2 earned. So going into July with the Braves struggling, still not able to get above the 500 mark, still a lot of questions in their bullpens. Injuries are piling up. AJ by far had his worst month statistically. In that month, the numbers just kept rising. Opponents were batting .412 with a .455 on base, a .588 slugging, and a .1043 OPS, which prompts manager Brian Snitker to send AJ down to the minors, which made a lot of fans happy. A lot of fans were questioning why Snitker was still using AJ, why he was still bringing him into high leverage situations. But credit to Brian Snitker, he never gave up on AJ Minter. He kept confidence and belief in him, knowing that eventually that he would need AJ, that this is what he had to work with. And AJ was back up in the month of August, to a lot of fans' dismay. A lot of fans were not happy, upset. But after being called back up, AJ proceeded to have the best month of his season, a month where hitters were batting 115, 233 on base, a 154 slugging, and a 387 OPS. AJ looked sharp, he looked good, and with the playoffs coming up in a tight division race, September was going to be an important month. In the month of September, AJ kept up the dominance. Opponents were batting just 175 with a 209 on base, a 250 slugging, and a 459 OPS. In that month, he finished with his lowest whip of the season, a 0.794. AJ looked like he had finally turned the corner, and his brilliant play had helped the Braves win the division and go to the playoffs. AJ finished his second half with opponents batting 186, 259 on base, a 286 slug, and a 545 OPS with a 1.050 whip, far better than his first half, which saw opponents bat 248, 317 on base, a 384 slugging, a 701 OPS, and a 1.3 whip. AJ had a magnificent postseason, starting with his first appearance being in Game 4 against the Brewers. In that game, AJ came in the top of the sixth of a tie game, of a crucial Game 4 for the Braves as they were looking to close out the Brewers. In that tie game, AJ came in, pitched 1 in the third inning, faced 4 batters, and struck out 3 of them. The Braves would go on to win that game to advance to the NLCS against the Dodgers, where AJ would make his first appearance in Game 2. AJ would make an appearance in the 5th in a tie ball game. AJ would pitch 1 inning, issue 2 walks, 1 strikeout, but no earned, and get out of that inning still tied. AJ would then appear in Game 3, back-to-back games. This time coming in with a lead, AJ would pitch 1 inning, face 4 batters, only give up 1 hit, and strike out 2. He would make another appearance in Game 4, in which he would pitch 2 innings, face 6 batters, and strike out 4 of them without giving up a hit, a walk, no earned, and the Braves would go on to win that game and advance to the World Series. And this is where AJ came up big again in Game 1 of the World Series after losing Charlie Morton early in the bottom of the 3rd. AJ was forced to pitch 2 2/3 innings, almost 3 full innings. In that, he faced 12 batters, gave up 3 hits, only 1 earned, and 3 strikeouts to help the Braves secure a Game 1 victory against the Astros. He would then appear in Game 3 in the top of the 6th with the Braves holding on to a slim lead, 1-run lead. AJ would pitch 1 inning, face 4 batters, strike out 2, and give up no earned runs to help the Braves win a 2-0 game and go ahead 2-1 in the series. And that brings us back to his Game 5 appearance. If you take away that Game 5 appearance, AJ pitched 11 innings, faced 41 batters, gave up 5 hits, only issued 2 walks, had 16 strikeouts, and only gave up 1 earned run. So when I say he had a dominant playoff, he had a dominant playoffs, and like I said, was able to overcome after a rough regular season and help the Braves become World Series champions. So congratulations to AJ, congratulations to the Braves, and to anybody who has made it this far. Take AJ Minter's 2021 season and remember this: it's not how you start, it's how you finish. AJ had a rough start to the season, but finished strong, and now will be able to always say he is a World Series champion. Appreciate it if you made it this far. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and give it a like. If you'd like to see more content like this on the channel, like the video. If you're new to the channel and you enjoyed the content, go ahead and drop me a sub, especially if you're a Braves fan. As we wait for the 2022 season to begin, I will be back and live calling almost all the Braves games this year. So if you want to be a part of the fun that we have here on the channel, make sure you drop a sub and make sure you drop by anytime the Braves are playing and come say hi and enjoy another, hopefully, fantastic season from the Braves. If it ever gets started, fingers crossed. But as always, guys, stay safe, stay positive, and I'll see you guys in the next one.